Hello, this is going to be a demonstration of the place value activity that goes along with the calendar video. I'm just making a separate video for it so that it's not super long. So the most important thing is popsicle sticks. You're going to need at least as many as there are days in the month. You're going to need some rubber bands, dry erase marker and eraser, a place value board to put the popsicle sticks on, and another one to write on with the dry erase marker. Something to notice about this chart is it has hundreds, tens, and ones place. Hundreds is purple, tens is orange, ones is green, and then there is a color-coded, there are color-coded lines down here for putting the number in expanded notation. And then something to notice over here, it only has the tens and ones place, but there is this little detail down here showing that there would be a hundreds place next to it. And in the ones place, I put 9 little circles, and those are to be covered up by the popsicle sticks. That way, there's a visual reminder that there cannot be more than 9 in the ones place. So let's say it is June 1st. Your student would pick one popsicle stick from the bag and put it and cover one dot. They would then switch to this and record how many popsicle sticks are in each place value. So in the hundreds, we don't even have hundreds on here. So your student would write a 0. And I'm saying stuff that's probably obvious to you, but I'm just saying it to remind you that it might not be obvious to your student. Then we have the tens place. There's nothing here, so we write a 0. And then in the ones place, there is one single popsicle stick, so you would write a 1. Then you move to the expanded notation down at the bottom, and there's 0 here, 0 tens, and 1 1. Add them together and you get 1. For such a small number, the expanded notation doesn't really mean much, but once we get into the larger numbers, its use will become apparent. At school, instead of having a flat mat like this that goes on the table, teachers usually have some sort of pocket mounted on the board so that each day they just add one more. So like on day 25, they would already have 24 sticks in there, and then they just add the 25th. There's value in that, especially in a classroom setting. It saves a lot of time. I think there's also value in starting from 0 each day, especially for kids who are just figuring out how to use place value charts. So let's fast forward to day 10. On day 10, your student would pick 10 popsicle sticks. 1, 2, 3, notice I'm covering the dots. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there are no more dots left. So that prompts them to remember, oh yeah, when I have 9, I can't leave them there. I have to take all 9 of them, add number 10, and then bunch them together. And since this is 10, this is the place for tens. And I put it there. That's one way you could communicate it to your child. You could say, this place is for ones. This place is for tens. Here's this bunch being a 10. And in the ones place, there's a place for each one. So I have my bunch here. Switch to my dry erase chart. And again, the student would know, or you could ask them, how many hundreds? Still 0. How many tens do we have in the tens place? Here, it's tempting for students to write 10, but they would only write 1, because how many sets of 10, how many bunches of 10 do they have? Just 1. And then in the ones place they have nothing, so they put 0. Now here's where expanded notation starts to make more sense as something of value. We still don't have anything here, so we still put a 0 there. But in the tens place, now we get to put something different. It's obvious to you, but it might not be obvious to your child, that here we write 10, not just 1, because we're counting all the numbers now, not just the number of sets. So a 1 in the tens place means a 1 with a 0 after it. And notice that the hundreds line can fit 3 digits, the tens line, or the orange one, fits 2, and then the shortest line is for the ones. Here I have 0, put a 0, 0 plus 10 plus 0 is 10, and that's for June 10th. Now let's say it's June 11th. It's tempting to keep this all bound up in its rubber band, keeping the bundle of 10 together. I would advise not doing that though and starting from scratch, because if the student requires prompting in order to bundle the 10 together and move them from the ones place to the tens place, then they need more practice with that. If they need prompting, they need practice. So here I have 9. My spots are all filled up, so now I grab them all, grab all 9 of them, add my 10th one, and make a bundle, just like last time. I'll put that in my tens place, and then it's the 11th day, so I need 1 more. Cover that up, and I have 11. Just like before, we put it on our chart, 0, 1, 1, move them to the bottom, 0, 10, 1, and we get a total of 11 on June 11th. So you just keep going like this until the end of the month, and then on the first day of the next month, you would start from 1 all over again, with the goal of your student being able to complete this and also the other calendar activities relatively independently. So if your student is able to do all of calendar up to 30 and it's not too much, it's not too difficult, it's like an appropriately challenging, then maybe the next month, instead of starting from 1, you could start from 32 or whatever the day happens to be. Because when they're in school, they usually start at 0 and they just keep going until the end of the year, keeping track of the days of school. But for somebody who's just trying to figure out place value, this home environment where they are allowed to go at their own pace is perfect for extra practice.